Alright, no water. Now I gotta spend my morning tracking down why my water isn't working. We're on a well. Stay tuned, I'll be right back and I'll take you guys through my process of troubleshooting the well and why we have no water. I'll be right back. Hello, welcome back to Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. I'm your host, Jerry Hansen. I'm going to take you guys on a backyard mechanics series on troubleshooting the well and why I have no water today. I woke up this morning, no water for my coffee, so I'm scrambling around trying to figure out what's wrong. First place I want to check is the service box. And it's right through here. Yeah, this is my service box. First place I'm going to check is the pump circuit to see if it's thrown, or should I say tripped. It looks like it's engaged, so we're gonna head up to the well and go there. But before I do head up to the well, I've got to grab a Phillips screwdriver, flathead screwdriver, and maybe a pair of pliers, needle nose pliers if I need them. I'll be right there. Okay, got them. Yeah, I got a pair of pliers too, just in case I need them. Needle nose pliers, just in case I need them, and a flathead and a Phillips. So let's head to the well. In addition, I also grabbed my multimeter in case I have to check the bus fuses that are in the sub panel up there at the well house. I got an audience. You guys can watch. Don't get your nose in here, okay? So, here is my sub panel. In here is a couple of fuses and also a breakaway switch. This is the breakaway switch, so this deactivates the well. We have no power going to the well right now. These are the 30 amp bus fuses, and I'm going to inspect them. They don't look blown, they look good, and I can actually check them to see if they're good just by running the multimeter on their leads. And they're intact. Remember, I've got no power coming in. We're going to leave it just like that. So we've got this, and this is off. We're going to leave that right there for now because I got to go inspect. Now, before I go inspect that, I'm going to plug this back in, see if I can hear anything. Yep. I know what's wrong. It's a DIY fix that you as a homeowner can do because it's real non-invasive. You don't need a permit. You don't need a serviceman unless you're not comfortable with doing this. But I learned basic electricity when I was in 11th grade in high school. I also learned electronics, also learned plumbing, all while in high school because I was in also a class called Construction Cluster where we built the house from the ground up. And all the different classes joined together. And home economics class, they got together and they got to do the interior design of that house. But that's where I got all my basic learning, and I've been picking up knowledge as I go and doing a lot of my own plumbing. And there's some exceptions I cannot do. Like in Oregon, you cannot do propane. pipes, gas pipes. They won't let you. You have to have a certified plumber, certified for gas. So luckily my neighbor across the street is a plumber. So I got my pipes wrapped, so I'm not worried about freezing anymore. But to troubleshoot, I know exactly what's wrong, but just for the sake of troubleshooting, I'm going to show you guys a couple of extra points because of what I heard when I plugged it back in. Yeah, I knew exactly what it was. So let's go to the pressure switch. This right here is a pressure switch. This little nut right here, that's why I need my pliers. You loosen that nut, pull that off, and down inside here is a pressure switch. See how that goes? You want to look at your points down inside there to make sure they're not fried, because that will compromise your well pump running, because this comes in from the box outside that supplies power to your pump, and this activates the pump. See, these go directly to your pump. So this is a pressure switch, and this pressure switch is rated for a certain pressure. On the box lid there's a label, and you want to look on there, 220 psi's. So you don't want to max the 200 psi's or 220 psi's. So there's a little valve on top of the tank, and if the tank gets waterlogged, there's a rubber bladder inside the tank, and there's pressure inside the tank, and you want to make sure that when the tank's empty, you have at least 32, 36 pounds per square inch of pressure. You can use a bicycle a tire gauge measure, and that will give you the measurement. If it's too low, take a little you know, one of those inflators, tire inflators that are 12 volt, or if you've got lucky to have a big compressor, tire pump. Just put a tire pump on it and get it up to the pressure that you need it, rated for this particular pressure switch. And then I've got a pressure gauge down here that will tell me how much pressure is in that tank. My gauge has failed. I have to change the gauge. But that is not a critical issue for me right now for water operation. Since I know it's not my point, I'm going to go ahead and reattach this. Make sure it's secure down. And then move over to the control board. This has components in it which actually help the well. This is where the wires come out of the pump that's down in the bottom of the well. I have a submersible 1-horse pump, which that's what this says, 1 horsepower, 230 volts. That's why I have 2 hot wires coming in. So I'm going to use my Phillips, take out this screw. Now it doesn't need to come all the way out, and this whole thing just pulls right up and out, and there's the whole package. And this is where your wires come in. You got your well wires, and then you've got your wires coming in from the service box to the control panel to here, and then from here down to the well. Now this is a relay right here, and this is a capacitor. This is what goes bad. More times than not, this is why your well fails, is a capacitor. One way to test your capacitor before you do any testing, do this first. I'm serious, do this first. Otherwise, you're going to get yourself injured. Take a screwdriver with an insulated handle and touch across the leads, because this is storing, it's a capacitor, it's storing an electric charge. So discharge the electric charge. See that spark? Yeah. So now double check it. Okay, now store to charge. Now what I'm going to do is connect this to my multimeter, and then I'm going to set my multimeter on this setting right there. See that little symbol? Microfarads. Yeah, that little backwards Y is actually a Greek character. In the Greek, it's mu, M. So it symbolizes microfarads for M. You've got an omega signal symbol on here too, which is in the Greek alphabet. That is an omega signal right there. Just thought you guys would want to know. Anyway, I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to check the capacitor, and it's got a rating printed on the capacitor on what it's supposed to read. If it's within that rating, it's good. If it's outside of that rating, like it's too low, it means it's not getting enough charge down to the motor to start the motor. That's what this is, a motor start capacitor. And I'll explain more about appliances that have these and why your appliances are failing. And there's a cheap, easy fix for that. So let's test this. Doesn't matter what lead to put it on. Turn it on. And it's indicating it's bad. So I have to replace my capacitor. Also, zero it out and reverse your connections. Make sure it goes both ways. Yep. Yeah, I have to change this, turn that off. And so, this is why I needed the needle nose pliers, is just take the needle nose pliers and pull these wires off that tab. And then a flathead screwdriver to loosen this and remove the holder. And this slides right on out. And now I've got it. Okay, I'm back. I had to go down to my regional supply house in our area in Josephine County, which is by Grants Pass. There's a Grover's Plumbing and Electric that's there, and they will have these parts. And over in Jackson County, down in Medford, on Highway 99, there is another one, another Grover's that has the parts. So I went to my nearest Grover's and I took the capacitor. They tested it for me there to validate that, yeah, it is bad. So they pulled a new one off the shelf. So we're going to place the new one in. This is something a DIYer could do. You guys could do it. So it's got a little groove right there, and it's got a little nub right there. You want to set that in there. Make sure it fits right down in that groove. And put your holder back in. Now that's going to hold both the capacitor and the relay in place. Another thing that could go bad is your relay could go bad. If the relay goes bad, then you test these two leads and these two leads, and that will find out through your multimeter that is bad. So we're going to tighten this down, finish the install, and put this one here, put that one there. Okay, so there's no wires to disconnect except these two wires. So that's why it's a DIYer. You don't need a permit for it. So we're going to put this back on, plug it back in. It goes top first, and it plugs right into that port. And screw it down. Make sure the screws are nice and tight. And now we plug it back in. Yeah, and you can hear the well going. Success. We got water. And you know how much that fix was? Let me tell you how much that fix was. That fix was $7 for that capacitor. $7. And I fixed the well myself. Yeah. Isn't that cool? Well, that's a backyard mechanics DIY hint for you guys to help yourself. Now, I mentioned earlier in this program on other things that could go bad that you could repair. And these are expensive items if you hired somebody to fix it for you. One item could be your air compressor, because these would have a capacitor in them that starts the motor. These are motor start capacitors, so that could go bad in there. So check that when your motor starts failing. Another appliance is your furnace or even your heat pump. Your heat pump has one of those things in here. So oftentimes the heat pumps, one will fail. You call HVAC guy, he comes out and charges. Sometimes the dishonest ones will charge you a lot of money. Or say you need a whole new unit for maybe up to $5,000–$10,000. Since I'm here, I want to share something else with you guys about when I lost water, and it was an easy fix for me. So one night I got home at 11 o'clock because I worked the weird shift at the hospital, bedside care, and I come home with hospital cooties all over me. Looking forward to a nice hot shower. Walked into the door and my wife says, "We got no water." And it's like, oh no, exactly what I want to deal with after a 12-hour shift at work. Well, I again went through the same processes. First I looked at the service box to see if the switch had been tripped. No, it wasn't. Next thing was I went up and looked at the other control panel, that cutoff switch with the two bus fuses in there. They're 30-amp bus fuses. And I did find one that was blown. If you don't have enough power going to your pump, you're not going to get any water pumped out of there. So that's what I determined. Wow, 11 o'clock at night, everybody's closed. How am I going to get water? Well, I jerry-rigged it. Since it was a season where we didn't need our heating or cooling, I just borrowed the bus fuses from here. This is the cutoff switch for my heat pump. It's got the same bus fuses in there. So I replaced the two bus fuses when I went to work the next day. I stopped by the hardware store and got a pair of new ones, replaced both of them in the well, put that one I borrowed from here back in here. So we're good to go. I got a shower. I got to wash the cooties off. Another couple of appliances that you want to look at if they fail that have these capacitors in them is your refrigerator has a capacitor in it, and your freezer has a capacitor in it. So pull those capacitors out that fail, take it down, they'll test it for you, and then on your appliance repair shops or supply, they will most likely have another one on hand. They'll be able to match it up with it, and you come home, plug it in, get your freezer going, get your refrigerator going, and you're good to go. And that's all I have to say on this hack. If you guys found this very helpful in my Backyard Mechanics series, let me know in the comments. Give us a thumbs up. As a farmer, a homeowner, being challenged with things breaking down and trying to save a buck, I figure it out and I pass it on to you guys. That's what my show is for, is sharing with you guys how to keep it frugal. I'm Jerry Hansen, your host. This is Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. We're a frugal homestead tucked up in the Cascade Ranges of the Pacific Northwest. Please stay tuned to more videos. You could do that by subscribing, clicking that bell icon that alerts you to new videos as I upload them. Give us a thumbs up. Yep, sharing my videos on your social media platforms helps us out, especially this one. It helps everybody out. Be safe. Always be kind. I'll see you guys in my next adventure. Bye-bye now. Yay, now I can make coffee.